like to call this town board of March 11th to order. And with that, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Yes. Councilwoman Bonner,
Here.
Councilman LaValle,
Present.
Councilman LaGuercio,
Present.
Councilman Foley,
Here.
Councilman Panico,
Here.
Supervisor Romaine.
Present. Okay, if we would stand and pledge our flag. And I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, in our moment of silence, I would ask you to remember a family from Gordon Heights, from Maple Avenue, I believe it is, and little, almost 2-year-old Majestic that lost their life in a very tragic fire this week. It's so sad when people have a house fire, they have property damage and loss, and this is a total loss, this house, but to lose a child, very, very sad. So I'd ask you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Give it a moment of silence. Thank you again. Under reports to the board, I only have one report to the board. And our next meeting is March 25th. And I wanted to do it before that meeting, although we share the same day. This is a proclamation that I've issued. March 25th is the 200th anniversary of the Greek fight for independence from the Ottoman Empire. The nation of Greece celebrates its 200th anniversary on March 25th. It was 1821 that they led the revolt against the Ottoman Turks and freed Greece as an independent nation. Much of their laws were based on what we had done in the United States by that time. Their flag has blue and white stripes and, of course, the Blue Cross. So we celebrate the Greek and all of the Greek Americans, and there are many, not only throughout the United States, but particularly here in Brookhaven. So my report to the board is Happy Independence Day, and to all my Greek American friends, God bless you. And with that, we have on to the communications consensus agenda, and we have 4 items on that consensus agenda.
Yes, there are 4 items on the communications consensus agenda. May I have a motion to accept these items?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have anything on the highway?
One second, sir.
Excuse me?
All those in favor and.
Aye.
Aye.
Donna's
I
gonna,
have that.
ask us to, she's gonna let us know when it's to go. She
I'm
needs.
sorry, that's right. We have the new system. What is this? E-Civil Plus? Civic Plus?
Yeah. And what happens is that I'm also timestamping this meeting to make it easier for the public to actually look at a particular portion of the meeting. And there's a little delay there, and that's why I need to
I know
add.
some people in the public thought it was that they couldn't get in to see, and it was the e-civic because we had switched over.
Yeah, so, all right, that motion carries. And we have nothing for highway. So if you'll give me 1 second,
Okay.
we're going to move to the, where are we? We are on the, well, I guess, go ahead, sir. You can do that. You can go ahead.
Well, the consensus resolution agenda is up next, and who is carrying that tonight?
I am supervisor.
Okay,
It is C45 through C47, so moved.
I'll second that.
Second, please. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion
Okay.
carried.
we are on to our resolution agenda, and we'll start with Councilman Laval.
Thank you, Supervisor. Resolution 158, authorizing the supervisor, deputy supervisor to enter into vehicle lease renewal agreement with Suffolk County for its 2006 Ford 14-passenger transit bus. So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Jane?
One second.
No.
We're just waiting for Donna.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
All right, now we can move on.
Okay, resolution 159 of 2021 is setting a public hearing to increase the 2020 Stony Brook Water District operating budget to be funded by an application of surplus currently in the district's fund balance. So moved.
Second.
That public hearing will be held on April 15, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 160 of 2021, authorizing the supervisor, deputy supervisor to execute an agreement with the Student Conservation Fund. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We've got, give me 1 second here. We have. Something, so Jane, you started
I
With-
did resolution 159.
with the public, for a public hearing.
Yep, 2020 Stony Brook Water District operating budget.
And public hearing, the first resolution,
It was 158, Donna. I had done 158, which was the
that's adopted.
vehicle lease renewal agreement.
Great, okay. So now we're going to the next resolution.
I just read 160 and we're up to 161 now.
So you telling me numbers doesn't really help me because the numbers are not listed on my screen.
So I read the last resolution. It was to execute an agreement with the Student Conservation Fund.
Right, and I have a first and a second on that, and we took the vote. So we are moving on to the next resolution, which is to enter into a lease agreement.
Yes, this is resolution 161 of 2021, authorizing the supervisor or deputy supervisor to enter into a lease agreement with the Davis Park Ferry Company, Inc. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
162 of 21 is authorizing a stipulation of settlement between Clear River Environmental Service Corporation and the town of Brookhaven. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 163, setting a public hearing on the application of Soriano Enterprises, Inc. for a change of zone from B Residence in J Business 2 to J Business 2 on property located on Middle Country Road in Center H, New York. So moved.
Second.
that public hearing will be held April 15th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 164 of 2021, accept the final supplemental environmental impact statement for 711 974 Portion Road in Ronkonkoma. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
165 is to amend the 2021 capital budget to establish a project for town hall second floor improvements. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution sorry.
It's all right, you can go ahead now.
Sorry, Donna. Resolution 166 is to amend the part-time seasonal salary schedule. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 167 is the appointment to the Anti-Bias Task Force of Ali Nazir from Lake Grove.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
168 of 21 is authorizing a declaration of decommissioned vehicles as surplus to be sold at town auction. So moved.
Gail, are you seconding that?
You
I'll
second?
second.
Second.
I'll second.
Jane, okay. 1 second, let me change that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 169 of 2021, authorizing the Save the Great South Bay Creek Defender Program to be classified as a program for public good. So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And next,
Resolution 170 of 2021 is to authorize the Commissioner of Finance to amend the 2020 adopted budget to establish dedicated appropriations to record expenses related to Tropical Storm Isaias to federal disaster declaration. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
171 is a bond resolution authorizing the issuance of $200,000 bonds to pay the cost of preparation of an engineering plan for the reuse of treated wastewater for irrigation purposes at the town-owned Mill Pond Golf Course in and for said town. So moved.
Second.
this will be a roll call vote. Ms. Bonner, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. Lavelle,
Yes.
Mr. LaGuercio,
Aye.
Mr. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Panico,
Yes.
Supervisor Romaine,
Yes.
all those, motion carries. Let me just move to the next. Next. Go ahead.
Neil?
I'm sorry.
worries.
Resolution 172 of 2021, authorizing permission for the Suffolk County Board of Elections to use the town of Brookhaven's auditorium as a polling place for a special, primary, and general elections for the year 2021 and 2022. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 173 is authorization for the addition of Glen Doc Moody Boulevard as an honorary street name to Groverland Park Boulevard, Sound Beach, New York. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 174 of 2021, award bid number 21008, on-call landfill gas treatment system annual service contract. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next,
175 is the authorizing the acquisition of land in the town of Brookhaven. The property located on Prospect Avenue, Middle Island, New York. Suffolk County tax map number is provided. The owner is Robert Lewis. So moved.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
176 of 21 is authorizing the acquisition of farmland development rights in partnership with the County of Suffolk for property located on the east side of Chapman Boulevard and the west side of Pine Street. This is East Meriches, New York. The owners are Everhart and HJE Real Estate Incorporated. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, go
Jane.
ahead.
Resolution 177 is authorization for acceptance of donation of land from Howard Bell Family Trust, Hempstead Avenue, Miller Place. Suffolk County tax map numbers are provided for open space purposes. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
78 is amending the length of service award program point system, LoSAP, for special response rules during the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. So moved.
Second.
On that motion, Supervisor, may I?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I just want to thank the board very much. I know everyone was very happy to approve this. And speaking for all first responders, who very much appreciate the fact that we're doing this because, as you know, first responders put their lives on the line day and night, 7 days a week. And they were very appreciative that the board is doing this for them. So thank you very much, speaking for all of them.
Well, we're all appreciative of all those who volunteer for our ambulance services. The town runs, as you know, 9 ambulance districts. They do a great job. They're our safety blanket, along with the ambulances provided by the fire departments. But we don't have jurisdiction over their LoSAP, but we do have jurisdiction over the ambulance district's LoSAP. So we were happy to do this.
Thank you. I'll pass that along to them.
Having been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Resolution 179, authorizing the Commissioner of Finance to transfer monies from the general fund Center Ridge Pool Reserve to the capital fund to fund the Center Ridge Pool capital project for fiscal year 2019 and 2020 to reimburse the capital fund for spending prior to fiscal year 2021. So moved.
Second.
Just on this motion, just quickly, this is the continuation of a lot of work we've been doing at Center Ridge Pools for many years. Whether it's been redoing the basketball courts, adding more pickleball courts, these projects that are moving forward this year. I just happen to be at the pool. We're actually redoing the bathrooms this year. The women's room is all ripped out right now, getting repaired and redoing that whole building. So this is a continuation of our program over there to really get that pool back up into shape. Obviously, we've done a lot of work over the last about 7 years, and we're going to continue those efforts.
Thank you, Kevin. I know
Good
you
job,
work
Kev.
very hard for those projects. You do a great job representing your district.
Thank you, Supervisor.
I don't remember if I took the vote or not on this. I'm
No, you
sorry.
didn't. I spoke on the motion.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
This is always a good one. This is the first time I'm carrying this one, Mike. Resolution 180, appointment of Councilman Michael A. Lugercio Jr. as a marriage officer. So moved.
Can we all sponsor this, please? This is a record.
Who was the
Aye.
second on that? I didn't catch it.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
How many weddings does this make for you, Mike?
It's probably at least 10.
All those in, I'm gonna say
Nice little-
4. Don't exaggerate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Honor, I want to recount.
That's all I remember. Okay, next, please.
Resolution 181 of 2021 is 2020 various operating budget transfers. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Resolution 182, authorization for the supervisor/deputy supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement with the Brookhaven Industrial Development Agency for services previously performed by the Division of Economic Development. And I shall move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
183 is the authorization for budget modification from accounts with unexpended balances to community development block grant accounts that require additional funding to complete and continue eligible activities. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
184 of 21 is authorization for the County of Suffolk to acquire part of the town of Brookhaven Calabro Airport property in Shirley for a proposed sewage treatment facility. The Suffolk County tax map number is provided there. So moved.
Second.
All
On
those-
that motion, I want to say this is critical. This is decades in the making. A few years ago, legislator Rudy Sunderman and his office were instrumental in getting the referendum passed for the Forge River Sewer District. This project is funded. This is post-Sandy community development block grant DR funds and hazardous mitigation funds that date back now almost a decade. This project is not only critical for the environment, but is also critical for the future economic development along the Montauk Highway corridor in the Shirley-Mastic area. This is a major step, and this town has kept this property set aside for the county. We've had other offers on the property, but the town has been steadfast. The supervisor's been steadfast in ensuring that we do everything that we can to ensure this project comes to fruition. And this is a giant step forward in ensuring that does occur.
Having, thank you. This has been already moved and seconded. I recorded that vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
185 is to authorize the Commissioner of Finance to amend the 2021 capital budget to establish new project for road improvements in Bellport. So moved.
Second.
Second,
Second.
I have it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1 second, please. Next.
Resolution 186, designating the month of March as Brain Injury Awareness Month. So moved.
Second.
On the motion, this Mr. Supervisor, unfortunately, it's like your presentation earlier today. This is a presentation we would usually do before town board, but obviously because of COVID, we were unable to do it. This is an issue that has actually touched me. A friend of mine, when we were younger in college, was in a very bad car accident and sustained a very bad brain injury. And, last year we started this, a group called the Social Brain, which is located in Port Jeff Station, which's job is to reduce the isolation of individuals with brain injuries and to participate in recreational activities to improve their quality of life. And they also pass out any kind of goods or things that people with brain injuries need. They do a great job. We started with them last year. Just the other day, I went over to their facility and presented them a proclamation naming today Brain Injury Awareness Month. Another great organization that I could also talk to you about that is in Medford, and we're very lucky we have two great organizations right here in the town, is the New Beginnings Community Center. They are more focused on awareness and education, and they also have a rehabilitation center there. So that's just another great avenue for people that have sustained these injuries to have an organization that's here to fight for them. So this is actually a great thing that we're doing today to try to bring awareness to this cause. For those that don't know, each year an estimated 2.5 million children and adults in the United States sustain traumatic brain injuries, and another 795,000 individuals sustain an acquired brain injury from non-traumatic causes. So this is something that really happens and touches many people's lives. So anything that we can do, or if you could help out in any way to any of these organizations I talked about, your help would be very much appreciated. That being said, thank you all.
Thank you, Kevin, for mentioning that very important issue. So many people are afflicted with that, and not only people from car accidents, normal causes, but veterans who served in overseas conflicts. And so thank you for mentioning that. We should all remember any research that we can do to help these people lead a more normal life would be good.
Having been moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Resolution 187 of 2021, authorize the supervisor, deputy supervisor to execute a contract for a merchant credit card service processor for the town's parking meter system based upon the recommendations of the Commissioner of Finance. So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Resolution 177, I'm sorry.
I-
Resolution 181.
Oh, I see.
188.
88, sorry about that. Resolution 188 is authorized Commissioner of Finance to increase the budget for the data center migration and implementation capital budget for the procurement of Microsoft Azure cloud services.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Just give me a second. Next,
189 is designating March as National Nutrition Month. So Dan, no wings for you. So moved.
That's a second.
Really cuts me deep.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In proportion, Dan. You can't get the big plate. Just in proportion.
Kevin, we know better. We know better.
Or use an air fryer.
Go ahead, next.
Okay, Resolution 190 of 2021. Authorize the Commissioner of Finance to amend the 2021 capital plan to defer the Port Jefferson Marina parking lot capital project from fiscal year 2021 to fiscal year 2022. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Resolution 191 is authorize the Commissioner of Finance to amend 2021 capital budget and the 2025 capital plan to move Cedar Beach Access Road Improvement Project from 2023 to 2021 and increase the 2021 capital budget to be funded with Parks Reserve. On the resolution,
Yes, please.
I'll second before.
Harbor Beach Road from the booth to the pier has suffered significantly this past winter from the freeze and the thaw. So I want to thank my colleagues for moving that money forward. It is really our probably most heavily utilized Parks and Recreation Marina facility, beach, Brookhaven town-wide, and you'll make the residents very happy that they won't have to hold on to their straps in their car as they traverse Cedar Beach. So thanks, guys.
Well, hopefully the repairs take place and people can enjoy it. Cedar Beach is a great location.
They better take place because now they have the money.
Absolutely, they have the money. So I fully expect that I will work with your office, Councilwoman Bonner, to ensure that our Parks Commissioner, Ed Morris, gets us out to bid and we get the work done. We may even use a requirements contract so the work gets done faster. And I haven't spoken enough because we still have 1 minute before public hearing. Because once we pass that, that's the last resolution.
We have, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, I know we don't have any dates to set or any other business other than a public hearing. Is that correct, Donna?
Correct.
So with that, it's 5:29. When that clock says 5:30, we're going to open our public hearing. And people can go online and speak up. You can use the chat box to speak up, and you can send your questions in, and then we'll put you up and you can speak on the public hearings. And with that, it is now 5:30. Donna, we can open public hearings.
Yes. So public hearing number 1, introductory local law number 3 of 2021 to consider enacting an introductory local law amending chapter 85 of the Town Code of the Town of Brookhaven entitled Zoning, Article 25 entitled Overlay Districts, Section 85-734 entitled Application Procedure. Legal notices for public hearings are published no less than 10 days and no more than 20 days prior to a public hearing on one of the legal town newspapers. My office has received a signed affidavit of publication from the newspaper, and my office is also in receipt of a letter from Suffolk County Planning advising that this is a matter of local concern. Determination, should the board render a decision today, this has been deemed a secret type 2 action. The letter from Suffolk County Planning is dated February 18, 2021. Dear Ms. Lent, pursuant to the requirements of sections A14-14, A14-25 of the Suffolk County Administrative Code, the above referenced application, which has been submitted to the Suffolk County Planning Commission, is considered to be a matter for local determination, as there is no apparent significant countywide or intercommunity impact. The decision of local determination should not be construed as either an approval or disapproval. Signed, very truly yours, Andrew P. Freeland.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have our town attorney, Annette Aderesto, to explain what this amendment would change in terms of the date of submission for the change of use application and site plan. So Annette, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As the board remembers, the board has a road improvement district at Munzell Road. We've completed all the condemnations. Our assistant engineer, Greg Kelsey with Highway, is finalizing final plans. We believe we may be under construction in the fall. We have about 6 people who have complied and brought in changes of use and are bringing some of the sites into compliance. Others we've acquired, but there are still a number of people who haven't come in with their change of use. So since we haven't started construction, we'd like the board to change the date, which would expire March 21st to July 31st for individuals to come into compliance and bring in a site plan or change of use, which is very modified, as the board knows, to try to get these sites into compliance so that when the road's constructed, we'll have a nice looking industrial park. If they don't come into compliance, eventually we're going to have to use enforcement, but we'd rather use the carrot than the stick. So we're asking the board to extend this to July 31st, 2021.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board? No questions. Do we have public speakers on this?
We do not.
No public speakers on this. I'll make a motion to close this public hearing.
Second.
Ms. Bonner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And who is doing the?
I
motion?
have public hearing number 1 of March 11, 2021. This is a resolution of adoption, amending chapter 85 of the Code of the Town of Brookhaven entitled Zoning, Article 25 entitled Overlay Districts, Section 85-734 entitled Application Procedures. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we are moving on to public hearing number 2.
Public hearing number 2 is to authorize a license agreement between the Town of Brookhaven and Mastic Beach Property Owners Association for an existing bulkhead and pump out station utility shed located in Mastic Beach, New York. Legal notices for public hearings are published no less than 10 days, no more than 20 days prior to a public hearing in one of the legal town newspapers. My office has received a signed affidavit of publication from the newspaper. And should the board render a decision, this has been deemed a secret type 2 action.
Okay. I believe we have Annette that's going to explain this.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. This involves the Mastic Beach Property Owners Association, which maintains a marina known as Marina 1 in Mastic Beach. It's located on Riviera Drive. The association previously entered into an agreement with the Village of Mastic Beach to maintain portions of the bulkhead on village land and a small shed which encroached onto the village property. The town has acquired this property because of the dissolution of Mastic Beach, and therefore we are seeking to enter into a new license agreement to allow the association to maintain that bulkhead and small shed.
Okay. Questions from the board members?
I don't have any questions. I just have, I think we have a couple of speakers. I want to say that Assistant Town Attorney Lee Raitt was instrumental in getting this done, and the property owners, which is a great group, been around forever in Mastic Beach. Jim Ryan, our former assessor, who's an attorney, worked on behalf of the property owners and worked very well. And I'm glad we were able to hammer out this agreement. I see the former mayor, Morris Sperry, from Mastic Beach, is joining us here tonight live.
Okay.
Am I on?
Second, let me see if we're ready. to-
Donna, do you want to swear in the?
I will. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
And would you just mention your name again and the hamlet you're from for the record?
Yep.
Since it's a voice.
My name is Morris Sperry. I'm from Mastic Beach, New York. I just wanted to thank the board and everyone there for allowing me this opportunity to speak. Y'all look great, and I'm happy for that over the past year. I also want to do a shout out to our town clerk, Donna Lent. Thank you, Donna. You're in my heart because I'm going to get vaccinated with my wife tomorrow, and I encourage everyone, and the town's been great. Okay, I'm going. So I wanted to speak on the stipulation of settlement, which is attached in the licensing agreement between the MBPOA and the town. I specifically wanted to talk about item number 4, which states the waterfront property received by the village from the MBPOA shall be dedicated as parkland in perpetuity pursuant to the laws of New York State for parkland for use as a marina, boat slips, beaches, access to the water, and similar recreational purposes. As you all know, sometimes things in Mastic Beach, and certainly at this time of the village, could get a little heated. But there was one area that was almost universal in consent, and that was keeping our waterfront for public access and recreational use. Not forever wild, which we know can become problematic, not developed commercially, but for recreational public use. Crabbing, fishing, kayaking, hiking, jogging, bike riding, walking, birding, and, just plain old communing with nature. I mean, I think we all live on Long Island because it's an island and we love the water. We love the smell of the salt air. We love the cry of the seagulls and the wind. We love the sound of the ocean. I know that's why I'm here. So it's kind of with great disappointment, but with hope for a brighter future, that I implore the town to fix the dirt road portion of Riviera Drive. The condition is untenable. I mean, if the town hasn't been sued, I'm not sure why not. The giant gully has eaten a moving van, an accessorized vehicle, a small school bus, and so many cars I've lost count. Unfortunately, my understanding is that this past winter, a car got stuck. The driver had to walk through freezing cold water and had some issues with hypothermia. Could be hearsay, but it sounds pretty accurate. I get it. Google Maps and Waves send people down that road, but that's because it's a legal road in the town of Brookhaven. So there's no reason for that road to, yep. So there's no reason for that to be open to vehicular traffic, none. All that happens is people dump garbage in the wetlands, buy, sell, and use drugs, have sex in their cars, and they tear up the wetlands in their four-wheel drive vehicles, especially when they're trying to avoid the large puddles and gullies and ponds. So the road that originally was 20 feet wide is 50 feet wide, and that 50 feet is into our fragile wetlands. This is not what was meant by access to the water. And I get there's a conflict with the fire department, but it's a red herring. With the consistent erosion of the shoreline and the rising sea, none of those wetlands are going to catch on fire. Plus a gate is, a gate really, is it going to impede the fire department? I mean, really, come on now. They got bolt cutters that they can get through a gate if there was some really big fire. It seems at this point not closing that road down is a public safety issue. And I'm imploring the town in that stipulation to settlement, it really is supposed to give the public access. And this is absolutely not access. So please consider that. I'll just say to Dan and Supervisor Romaine, we could go on one of those cool Jeep rides again if you want, but I can show you what I'm
I
talking
remember
about.
taking a ride several years ago. I watched when we hit one of those potholes, the water go over the roof.
Yeah, we got the official mayor's tour, and I believe that was an official vehicle, which was good for you, Maura, because if that was your car, forget it. But there are look, it's Maura's right in the fact that you cannot maintain a road that is constantly underwater. This is a dirt road straight down across from St. Jude's. I know that our highway superintendent, Dan LaSquadro, has been working on this with Kevin Geiger and Steve Tricarico with regard to that road that you're mentioning, going all the way down to the water at Locust. There was an issue as to whether or not, and I believe they're going to do it this year, they're going to widen, I think it's Elfin is the place there. That way, because you do have one house in that stretch, but that road, there's no real way to maintain that road. And I think the fire department understands that as well. You know, people who talk about bulkheading, 8 miles of waterfront, it's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen not because the DEC is not going to allow you to harden 8 miles of waterfront, and they're not going to allow you to fill in wetlands because you have to have tiebacks on that bulkhead. If you were to do that in the town of Brookhaven, we have to meet all the municipal requirements. We furnish and install bulkhead on average about $1,250 to $1,500 a linear foot. That would be about $57 million in what you would have to expend to do that. The town doesn't have that money. No one has that money. And, you know, trying to maintain a road, as you mentioned, that's constantly underwater.
That floods constantly.
It is an impossible feat. So I will get back with the highway superintendent, see where they are on that project, and we'll hopefully try to get that done to some extent this year. And in the meantime, if they can get a grader out and just grade the road as was done in the past in the immediacy to avoid people by taking Waze, Google Maps, and any other app that's out there down stuck in front of your house, we will try to do that.
Dan, will you stay in touch with more about this?
I most certainly will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Do
all.
we have
on
other
the board.
speakers, Madam Clerk? Thank you, former mayor. Do we have other speakers?
The next speaker's in.
Mr. Roberts, Corey Roberts it is.
Yes.
Would you please
Hi, how are you?
please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And would you please state your hamlet, where you're from? So for the record,
Mastic Beach.
thank you.
Thank you. I just want to speak on the stipulation of, the waterfront of the MBPOA number 4 in terms of maintaining parkland in perpetuity pursuant to the laws of the state of New York for use as marina, boat slips, beaches, access to water, and similar recreational purposes. My wife and I and my child have lived in Mastic Beach for the past 3 years, take lots of walks around the area, 3-mile loop that we do every single morning, and have spent most of those mornings picking up trash to various degrees, whether it's simple household waste in bags or beer cans that are tossed out of people's cars and whatnot, on up to deer carcasses, which obviously we don't deal with, and then we see everything from Barca loungers to people's entire cabinet from the kitchen set thrown on the side of the road in the wetlands area and along the waterfront. So as it pertains to maintaining this property along the waterfront, I just wanted to see if there's opportunities for the highway department to perhaps do some better signage in the area in terms of litter and trying to, deter this a bit more. Perhaps doing a little bit more in terms of maintaining the roads, in terms of perhaps street sweepers in the area coming around a little bit more often, and just general, sweeps of the area to see if there's major pieces of garbage that have been just tossed around. I mean, we invite friends from all over the place. They love the area. We love the area because of the proximity to the water, seclusion. And there's lots of parking areas that are along the waterfront that people can go and appreciate this. But again, there's, trash constantly around the area. There's no trash receptacles. So perhaps those are things that we could investigate implementing around those areas a bit more, to, again, deter the dumping of garbage and whatnot to a degree. I'd just like to thank you for your time and letting me speak this evening.
Thank you. Dumping is becoming a large problem in Brookhaven, where people think that the great outdoors is their garbage can. It's not. And how said, a little older than some of the people on the board, so I still remember that commercial from the Indian looking out on the wilderness, and there was all garbage around, and you see the tear come down his eye. We should all worry about our environment. If you see something, say something. If someone's in a truck or car dumping stuff in the wetlands or wherever, copy down their license plate. Let us know. You can remain anonymous and we'll pursue it. Thank you.
We've raised all the fines. We're down waste management, highway department sometimes, mostly waste management, picking up garbage every single day. We work with the Tri-Hamlet Neighborhood Watch South, who go out every morning. They've broken up the 10 sections of Mastic Beach into zones. They're out there, they send it in, unfortunately, and I've found in my experience, signs do not deter criminals. Prosecution deters criminals, and catching people, even though this entire town board, most every level of government has raised the fines for doing this. These people who dump illegally are criminals, and they have a flagrant disregard, not only for where they live, but also their neighbors. I know Annette in her office, Annette Aresto, our town attorney, has deployed trail cams and things of that nature. We work with the county to try to catch people. It's becoming a big problem, and it's not only in Brookhaven, it's everywhere, unfortunately, throughout Long Island. You go to other places on vacation and you travel places throughout this country and elsewhere, you don't see this much litter everywhere. And it's not because they have more government workers picking it up. It's just people are not littering as much. So we all have to do our part. And as the supervisor said, copy down people's plates. If you see somebody heading south on Neighborhood Road with their pickup truck full of construction, demolition debris, anything, follow that person, get a snapshot of their plate and what's in that truck. And we work with our police to follow up.
Okay. Other speakers on this?
No other speakers, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay. Any last minute comments by board members? I don't see any, so I'll make a motion to close this public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And for public hearing number 2 of March 11, 2021, I have a resolution of adoption to enter a license agreement between the town of Brookhaven and Mastic Beach Property Owners Association Incorporated for existing bulkhead and pump out station utility shed located in Mastic Beach, New York. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. We are on to public hearing number 3.
Public hearing number 3 had been previously open. It is to consider condemnation of an easement for drainage purposes, Ridge Road, Rocky Point, New York. And this public hearing was adjourned from the April 15th, 2000. I'm sorry, it was adjourned from the January 28th board meeting.
And I believe, my understanding is it's going to be adjourned to the April 15th meeting at 5:30 p.m. So I'll make the motion to adjourn this public hearing.
And I'll second it.
1 second, let me mark it. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we're moving right on to public hearing number 4.
Public hearing number 4 is to consider the condemnation of property for open space purposes, Country Road, Medford, New York. The owner is Grand Medford Estates LLC. Condemnation hearings are published for legal compliance no less than 10 days and no more than 20 days prior to the public hearing in 5 successive editions of Newsday and 2 successive editions of a local town newspaper. The signed affidavits of publication have been received by my office, and should the board render a decision, this has been deemed a secret type 2 action.
Okay. We have Annette Adereso to briefly explain why we're buying this property. I think the appraised value is $50,000.
Correct, Mr. Supervisor. The purpose of this acquisition is to protect wetland habitat, which became established because the lot was cleared. And what happened was nature took over and it became a natural drainage area for runoff, and it created a freshwater wetland. The parcel is adjacent to a recharge basin, and it is located at Country Road, Medford, New York. And
If I'm not mistaken, it's a little north of Eagle Estates.
correct. And it's selected because of the presence of as I said, the regulated freshwater wetland containing cattails and a species of rush grass.
Okay.
Rush grass.
Rush.
We don't hear that very often.
That's all I have, Mr. Supervisor, unless the board has any questions.
Questions for the, no questions? Do we have any public speakers?
No, you do not.
Okay, I will make a motion to close this public hearing.
I'll second that, Supervisor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to close carries.
A resolution to adopt the findings and determination of the town
Second,
board.
please. 1 second, please. Now you can go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. A resolution to adopt the findings and determination of the town board to condemn property for open space purposes, Country Road, Medford, New York, Suffolk County tax map number is provided, and the owner is Grand Medford Estates LLC. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. We are on to public hearing number 5, which I believe is going to be adjourned till April 15th at 5:30 PM. And I will make a motion to adjourn that public hearing till that time.
I'll second that, but on that motion, Annette, are we ever going to close on this?
Yes, there were some title issues. Both of these hearings that adjourned tonight, we have in contract, and I'm hoping by the 15th, we'll have a closing on this. So it is,
Okay.
they're both in contract, there's title issues, and the board directed me not to take them off until we close. So that's why I'm sorry for all the adjournments. It's really not in my hands. The sellers have to clear up their title.
And just so that the public understands, this town board hearing was for a town board's own motion known as MC-18A for a change of zone from J Business 2 to A Residence 1 on a parcel of property located in East Mauritius, New York. So it's been moved and seconded for an adjournment to date certain, April 15th, 2021 at 5:30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, that is the last piece of business, but I do want to make a comment. I just looked at my phone and at the chat box, and there are some people that would like to meet for me are in the towing business. So please call my office. I'll set it up with some of our council people, and we can certainly talk about it and look at the code and make sure that you're following the code. And if there's a problem with that, we can discuss that. But the town has a code regarding the towing yards. And as most of our board members know, we try to stick to our code and enforce it so there's consistency throughout the town. But I'm happy to meet with someone. This is at the end of the meeting, because I saw that in the chat box, there was some people who wanted to meet with me. More than happy. Give me a call. Telephone number for the supervisor's office is 631-451-9100. 631-451-9100, and we'll be happy to talk about towing yards and the existing code. And we will take out the code book, and you can tell us what you think, and we'll be happy to listen. And with that, I don't think we have any more business. And by the way, when I have this meeting, if any of the council people would like to attend, I'm happy to have them join me.
I will join you, Supervisor.
Okay. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn this town board meeting?
So moved.
Second,
The second, was you, Mr. Foley?
yes.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned.